Welcome to South Harmon. Welcome to South Harmon. Hey, welcome to South Harmon. We glad you here today. Another AMA. Ask me anything. Super chat is cool if you wanna pay to play. Like and subscribe, that's what we really appreciate. Let me introduce you to the tear down king. Mike McNutty, ask your questions, he'll answer anything. ATM, you know Adam, put them graphics on the screen. Glad you tapped in now, stay tapped in for the team. Hey, everything is posted. Go follow the socials. South Harmon FF tag us if we get noticed. Welcome to South Harmon, we glad you here today. Welcome to South Harmon, we glad you here today. Another AMA. Welcome to South Harmon, we glad you here today.
Mike is muted to start us off, I think. Let's get it.
Dude, that's how I've had too much vodka already. It has been that kind of fucking day.
I love hearing
We
this.
are halfway through this glass already, and we just started AMA. So, of course, I got to start out on mute, because fuck it. Let's go, man.
Welcome to the AMA. It's going to be a good one. Mike is ready.
Should we try again? Like, I had energy. I had energy for that muted intro.
I mean, I think you brought it fine. You told everyone you're so ready you had it on mute, and you've been drinking. We're ready to go. How are you doing, buddy?
Got it. Here we go. Zen. Got it. Welcome back into Wednesday Night AMA. We are here live, coming at you.
Live from the shit show.
Let's go.
Let's go, man. I'm rocking the league.
Crazy.
Shout out to Andrew,
The league.
Yeah, the league FFB. The league FFB.
Let's go. What's up, Andrew? A big shout out to him.
Yeah.
Little baby in the fantasy football space, man.
Listen,
young
man.
Kid. Must be nice to have those young bones.
Mike, I'll tell you one thing, though. Last time I had to bring the energy. Speaking of you bringing the energy, he's, following Ramadan. I'm out here, water, C4. Dude can't drink, eat anything. Like, I'm just.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it was fun, though. Yeah. I have a feeling when that month's over, like, he's going to just be. You'll have to meet him sometime. This kid just talks. I mean, you think you and I talk? He's a talker. He's good. Matt Gomes.
We're making a trip. We're making a trip out there.
Oh, yeah, you're coming in the summer at some point. Pink phones and robotic elbows, LFG. Let's go.
Let's go. Robot arms.
I don't know, man. I'm not big on the whole painted fingernails and lip gloss and all this stuff. But what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
Ricky Williams was pretty good. I saw that dude in a wedding dress on Sports Illustrated when I was a kid.
Dennis Rodman was the last time Chicago had a guy, going that crazy, right?
Yeah. Do what you want, man. Whatever makes you happy.
Sure.
I'll rock some pink every now and then.
Yeah, you see, I put this way. Sorry, put the pink on for him.
I don't know about the lip gloss. Sometimes my lips get chapped or whatever. I may grab something out of my wife's, bag or whatever.
Yeah, I'll go for the Burt's Bees, maybe lip balm, or sure.
Well, maybe you grab the wrong thing. You never know.
I do know.
When you out here with pink lips.
When they're all color coordinated, I got a feeling. And then it was Wednesday night AMA. We've got, look at this, huh?
Just a reminder.
Go ahead.
By the way,
go ahead.
Say less. We let her. Sign shit. Ultimate Autographs are awesome partners. Adam, by the way, I'm going to show off one thing.
Damn, look at that, huh?
I'm going to show off one thing in AMA. So I did get some stuff this week. So this is what they send you. Nice little box.
Check this out, man.
Box.
Get that flown in there like that. Let's see what you got. Pull it up.
Dude, I got you, man. All this stuff came this week. Of course, you gotta put it in the bag.
Mike got the bag.
I got the bag.
Speaking of free agency.
You got some plastic wrap in this bag, too. Oh, yes.
What up, Nathan? What up, DB? We got everybody here. We got Fizzle, too.
We'll take that off.
Oh, man. Why is the first thing you're going to get is a Steelers? That would just happen for me.
Jerome Bettis.
The bus.
HOF, baby.
The bus.
Look
15.
how fucking clean that white is.
That's why. Is that like matte?
Yeah, it's like that matte white.
Yeah, that's
alternate lunar helmet that they call it.
That's like what's crazy. That's like perfect for autographs too. It'll show so nice on there.
Oh, it's so disgustingly good.
Mike, we're starting early, buddy. We're starting early.
Let's go.
You know?
Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's go. Ultimate autographs. Make sure you go. Signed shit. Use promo code Harmon15 for 15% off. Save you way more than a super chat. Put that back up, man.
I just wanted to see Barry's. People are freaking out about the helmet. I just wanted to give you. Believe me, I'm not letting your super chat go nowhere. As a matter of fact, here.
Don't worry, folks. I'll be showing that baby off too. We're gonna work on some shelving. You know, maybe some fancy lights to show that thing off. Ooh. All right, Tyler. $9.99 super chat.
12 team super flex. Start 10. Half point tight end premium. We got Watson, Dak, Aaron Jones, Kamara, Lamb, Chase, Diggs, Kupp, Metcalf, and Njoku. Traded 107, the 8, and Romeo Dobbs, and a 25 first for Chase and the 112 for Chase. Then the 112 for Kamara and Aaron Jones. Thoughts on these moves? 108, 107, and Dobbs for Chase. Oh, and a 25 first for Chase. Wow.
That I couldn't do.
I'll tell you one thing. If you didn't have the 107 in here, 108, 25 first Dobbs, I would definitely do.
Yeah, I could do that. Yep.
107 and 108 in Dobbs, I think I'm probably about maxed out there. Like, that's already feeling really, really pricey. You throw it like a fourth, like it feels like there's 3 legitimate firsts in here, especially because 108 in this class is solid enough.
Yeah. Man, this is way too tough, right? Because those are in the pick ranges that I want, 7 and 8. Like, both of them land in there.
That's what I'm saying.
Cha-ching, cha-ching.
Even if you made this 107
first.
Even if you made this 107 and a 25 first in Dobbs, I could probably get behind that. 108, 107. Mike, could you do 108, 107 in Dobbs?
108, 107 in Dobbs?
I could do that too.
Yeah, probably. I'm probably holding just to be a,
sure.
Full-on rookie fever kind of guy.
We want to play this all the way until the draft's ready to go,
Right.
But I will say though,
that golden ticket.
If the 25 first, if you really feel like this team is going to be locked in, I could do it. Let me just tell you the one thing I'm a little fearful of. Like, it's funny, in Fade the Fetal, I have almost the same situation now. Maybe not quite the receivers that he has. That's a goon squad of receivers. But I got Watson and Dak, and I have picks that I'm trying to get a quarterback. In a 10 team, I feel like if Watson doesn't bounce back, that 20, all of a sudden, dude, Lamb and Chase and Diggs and Kupp, Metcalf, you got receivers, but you never know, man. You never know.
What about the second part? 112 for both Kamara and Aaron Jones.
Feels like you didn't have to do it, but I'm honestly probably fine with that. You get 2 running backs out of it. I wouldn't.
That part's okay.
Yeah, I'm perfectly fine with that part, Tyler. I think I'll be honest too, Mike. It's not horrible. Like, you're getting Chase, man. It's
not because it's a start 10, so it makes it a little bit more palatable. Mm-hmm. But Adam, like, how many?
It's just not the way you and I play. Let's just say it that way, right? Like,
how many times do you see those 3 first plus for one single player backfire? I mean, Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes, but don't you regret trading 4 firsts for that fucking guy in season?
Yeah, because I fucking lost the title because of it. and you know who beat me because of it? Fucking Brock Purdy and George Kittle stack plus them first. I mean, it is what it is,
If you change that 7 and 8 to 25 first, just generic. You okay making that move?
Wait, say that again? Change the 7 and the 8?
Yep, just a generic 25 first. Push them out of here.
So you're saying 3 generic 25s?
Correct.
Oh. Yeah. I mean, I think so. Now, the one thing about when you start throwing around 3 firsts in a single class, Mike, the only difference there is odds are you're going to end up sending one of them early ones. Like, it's just the odds are that way. You start getting
Somebody's
that many.
Somebody's going to fuck up, and yeah.
Maybe it's you, maybe it's somebody else, but Mike, I still think it's fine. I think it's definitely you paid up for Chase, but I'm okay doing it. I will say, Mike, you look at this team, it's not the deepest, but man, if Watson and Dak stay healthy, the main thing is if these guys stay healthy, I mean, his ceiling with Lamb, Chase, and Diggs is ridiculous, bro.
And Kupp and Metcalf.
Yep. Yeah, true. And Njoku, I mean, we'll see what happens with Watson, but that dude was a stud down the stretch, so I'm with it.
Yeah.
He says, I still have 2 25 firsts and 4 seconds. Only picks left in 24 are 4/3. Can this team win? I think so. I think one thing that you have the 225 first, at least I know now. I don't know if one's yours. I would kind of hope it is. Regardless, you'll have some liquidity to play with in season and go buy something if you need it. So I'm probably keeping those pretty tucked to the vest, Mike. 4 seconds and 225 first. You buy yourself out of a hole if you need to.
So you need Dak and Lamb to repeat what they did last year.
Mike, if they did what they did in the second half for 80% of that for the full year, that's a league-winning stack, brother.
And you're relying on Deshaun Watson to,
That's the part that scares me, is obviously Watson. But it can win,
fine.
yes. It can win. Yeah, it could definitely win.
It's fine. I wouldn't have done it, but it's fine.
Let me ask you, because let's play reverse here on this, okay?
Okay.
Take take Chase out of it. So now you got Lamb at 1, Diggs at 2, Kupp at 3, Metcalf at 4. You got the 107 and the 108 to play with.
And your 25 first.
You got 325s
25
now.
first.
You got 325s now.
Yep.
I think I probably would have held, frankly. This could be, if Chase ends up getting, if CeeDee Lamb and Chase both end up getting like 180 plus targets, those two guys alone could end up winning you this league. So I understand it, but I just feel like you have so many options with all those picks, man. You're talking about 107, 108, and 325 first. That's kind of nuts.
Yep.
I don't think getting a guy like Chase though in this format, unless the warp is way off, you're going to be in a problem. You can probably liquidate for almost what you paid. All right,
Matty Gomes.
Matty Gomes, let's go, man. 12 team, best ball, start 11. 0.25 points per carry, probably same tier. But how do you rank these for win now build? Mixon, Kamara, Aaron Jones, Rashad White, King Henry.
Win now build's kind of interesting because, you don't really want them outside of that. But then you also talk about, people go, well, that's just redraft rankings. And kind of, but not really. We know there's some baked in. Hey, could he do it for 2 years, right? Mm-hmm. If I got to rank them right now, Rashad White would be number 1. Production-wise, you're looking very similar to the rest of the guys, but you get the youth, right? You get the... It doesn't mean shit to Adam and I as far as how we value, Rashad White moving forward or how we're going to roster construct, but you get the youth, right? That matters to some people.
For sure.
Then I'll probably go King Henry, Aaron Jones, Kamara, Joe Mixon dead last.
Give me your ranks one more time. I just wanted to start
White,
off with White first.
King Henry,
first. Yep.
Aaron Jones, Kamara, Joe Mixon.
Interesting. I think I go White. I feel like I'm going to put White in his own tier. I'm going to put King Henry and Kamara in similar tiers. I think King Henry's probably upside is through the roof in freaking Baltimore. I hate to see it, by the way, Browns fan. But Kamara, I think, still, gross as people want to say it is, all them pass catches he could have with a Derek Carr at the helm, man, is just crazy. So I'll put those guys in the next tier. Then the third tier for me is going to be Mixon, slightly above Aaron Jones because of the situation. I like the talent of Aaron Jones, I think, honestly. I think if Minnesota Mike had a quarterback and that offense I knew was going to be solid, I definitely would put him ahead of Mixon. But I saw what Singletary did in that offense, Mike, and I'm kind of feeling like Mixon might end up being more cooked, but, man, that offense was just ridiculous. So I'm going to lean Mixon, but they're in the same tier for me, those two.
There's always one big problem when I look at Joe Mixon in Houston, right? You could get behind it. The guy absolutely fucking sucks running in zone, and that's what Slowick runs, which is why Dameon Pierce couldn't get his ass on the field.
Well, they got 2 of them now. We're gonna find out who's running the zone.
Well, they paid one of them, so who's gonna at least get the opportunity.
The crazy part was, Mike, it was like, all right, is Mixon gonna make it in Cincy? Kind of felt like for last year, it kind of felt like no. Now this year, it definitely felt like no. So when they move him, he was gonna get cut. Then Houston pays whatever they have to do to just make sure he doesn't go to free agency. And then they extended him. That was the extension part's what makes it interesting, I'd say.
Hey, my dynasty ranks reflect that too. Look at me go.
What do you got?
Aaron Jones and Kamara in the same tier though. They're together, razor close. But Mixon 2 tiers behind him, Derrick Henry 1 tier ahead of him, Rashad White 1 tier ahead of Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I don't think anyone would debate Rashad White in his own tier here. I mean, the guy can pass catch. He's younger, coming off a really good season. So
Yep.
Speaking of, Mike, I mean, they keep coming today, huh?
Yeah, we'll just keep them going, man. Skeletor.
Why not? Skeletor. Appreciate you, Skeletor. Before, how comfortable are you guys double tapping quarterback with the 101 and 102? I only have Bryce right now, But wide receiver room led by Pittman Jr. and Olave. Was there a foul? Like, was there the team here? I mean, just generically, how comfortable am I double tapping QB at 101 and 102? I think as long as we see the draft capital check out for Jaden Daniels and this Caleb Williams at 1 and 2 or 3, yes. Caleb Williams is going to go 1. We all know that. If Jaden Daniels is going 2 or 3, I am very comfortable double tapping if that's what you need here. I think to the point of the thumbnail, Mike, I think we're definitely getting 4, it feels like, in the first round.
Yep.
4 quarterbacks in this class. I think there's I want to call it like a 40-50% chance that we get 5.
Oh, you really high.
I think somebody's going to do it, Mike. I've seen enough mocks, and I've seen somebody. I think somebody's going to take a leap into the 5th. Now, the reason I say that is still a 40% chance, Mike. I'm saying I'd probably lean more 4 than I would lean 5, but I think there's a pretty good chance we get a 5th one. Now,
Well, let's just think about this from a numbers standpoint. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Where we sit in the draft right now, we talk a lot about the Vikings trading up, and whether it's for May or McCarthy, whoever. Okay.
Right.
But let's just say the quarterbacks go 1, 2, 3, 4, and the Vikings are one of those 4.
Okay.
Right? Just as the board stands. So Caleb to the Bears, Daniels to the Commanders, Drake May to the Patriots, J.J. McCarthy goes to the Vikings on a trade up. Okay. So Arizona's trading out. They don't need a quarterback. That's fine.
Yep.
Chargers don't need a quarterback, right? There's still 3 teams that could use a quarterback, right? Even after those 4 go. Like, we are not sold on their quarterback rooms, right? The Giants, and you've heard the Daniel Jones stuff. We don't know for sure. I think it's probably likely they just trot his ass out there and they run some sort of competition with Drew Lock, and if Dime sucks, then Drew Lock gets a shot, and then they're tanking for 2025, whatever the case may be, right? That's my most logical. But there's still 2 other teams where we don't know what the quarterback is. The Raiders, you could probably make a case that they roll with Minshew and O'Connell in some sort of quarterback battle as well. Mm-hmm. And then they also just punt it till 2025 to figure it. Denver's the one that I'm like, they're left holding the bag, and that would be the 5th quarterback team. Like, it almost feels like they got to fucking do something, man. They're not rolling into the season with Jarrett Stidham. Like, not. There's no fucking way Sean Payton's like, yeah, this is who I want at quarterback.
Well,
right? And you've seen Russ get let go from there. You've seen Justin Fields get traded. Kirk Cousins is off the market. There's not a free agent quarterback or a trade candidate out there that makes sense that's going to solve that fucking problem.
Yeah, the only thing I would say is that if Peyton feels like he's got the leash, which probably he does, this is like, hey, Stidham, I'm gonna pretend that I'm betting on you, and I'm really betting on getting myself to this pick of the next year's litter because I didn't have it this season, right? So
I would have felt different if maybe they brought in Jameis. And then we kind of had that Minshew O'Connell like battle thing going on in Denver too.
I love that.
But they fucking didn't. Like, Sean Payton had Jameis if he wanted him. He's like, nah, we good.
I feel like Payton just told you though all he really thinks about Jameis, which makes me worried about our locker room. Mike is just going to be our quarterback room went from it's going to be chaos in there for what it's worth. But Dimes, Mike. I think when you just look at his contract, they do have a potential out next year. It's still going to be a huge hit, but and maybe at 6 there's one of those 4s available, and there's a situation they take him. But to the point you're making, though, Mike, and you know what else is always possible? I put it 40%, but it's always possible if a Bo Nix or a Michael Penix or even somebody else that somebody has really high on their board, they trade in towards that late 1st to secure the opportunity for a 5th-year option, someone that we don't even think is in the position to draft one that needs a quarterback. I think there's other teams that are not necessarily set in stone, like they feel rock solid at QB,
I think it's a possibility, but I've been so disappointed the last few years because I thought they were going to do it, in multiple draft classes, and the NFL's like, nah, we good.
Well, the difference there is what? 22, the whole NFL, the whole 22 class, the NFL said we think you're all trash, and
right.
Tomlin took his pick, and you should have just passed. Obviously, is what we see now. But 23, Mike had I think some good quarterbacks towards the top, but I think this is at least what the NFL is telling us. They feel incredibly good about 4, and we'll see. All it takes is one team. Now, the reason I bring that up, Mike, there's 6 quarterbacks in the first round only happened one time. You know what year that was? The quarterback class to basically not be rivaled by almost any at this point until we have a lot more data.
Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen's class? Deshaun Watson?
Go back.
Mitch Trubisky?
80s. 83.
The Dan Marino class.
Dan Marino class, exactly.
It's actually, it should be called the John Elway class since he was the first fucking pick, but Dan Marino.
Marino was the last first rounder, and
right, Dan Marino's class.
But you look at that class,
83. 83. I was gonna go with 84.
Very good, but
Still wasn't born yet.
And then five's only happened a handful of times, Mike. 5 first round picks. So the point is,
you know what's crazy, right?
What's that?
Did you watch the 30 for 30 on that one?
No, I didn't. I don't think so.
So the agent for John Elway was also the agent for Dan Marino.
No, I haven't seen the 30. I got to watch that. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So he's out there and he's going off his notes from the 80s way back in the draft. About his conversations with Dan and John. And at the top of the draft, you had the John Elway didn't want to play for the Colts, who were the Baltimore Colts at the time. That's how long ago this was.
Yes.
Bet a lot of you youngsters didn't even know there was a team called the Baltimore Colts.
Before the Browns left Cleveland and moved to Baltimore,
right, Right. So he had all his conversations on there, and then Dan Marino was all over the place, right? He had some pot smoking allegations, which were bullshit, just like a character assassination, and Pittsburgh passing on him, even though that's the hometown kid. Ended up with Shula and the Dolphins. Did okay there.
Mike, let me ask you, what do you think the odds are of 6 happening this year?
Ooh, 2%.
I was going to say something like 5. Maybe I'm going to say maybe 5%, but pretty low.
I could see your 5 scenario. A 6 is hard for me to imagine because I don't think there's 6 quarterbacks worth a first round pick.
I don't think there are either, but I'm with you. I don't think that there is, but all I know, Mike, is people that have sources. For whatever you make of that. Whatever you make of that, okay? This is what they talk about having. Now, I don't have sources. I tell you, my sources is Mike
Keep
Crystal.
going. I'll do the Brian Windhorst.
See? But Mike,
why would they do that?
I've seen 6 quarterbacks in enough mock drafts. Like, some people think that there's teams that could draft Michael Penix. Some people believe there's teams that could draft Bo Nix. So the reason I say that is I think there's an outside chance. I'm going to put it at probably less than 5% even, but very outside. But Mike, let me just ask you, if someone goes, let's say, to 12 at Denver, if there's 5 at that point, anything's possible.
Yeah.
One team really needs one. It feels like, Mike, the whole reason I'm bringing this up to the last few years, to your point, it feels like the quarterback classes haven't been that good, and every year we're there's desperate teams. So we'll see if anyone reaches here, basically, is what it comes down to. Minnesota's already basically piled up assets to figure out how they're going to get one of the 4, right?
Yeah.
What happens if they can't? What happens if they're 4th? They don't get in there. All of a sudden, Minnesota could be. Are they going into the season with their quarterback room intact, or do they have a plan B? I'm throwing out scenarios.
I couldn't imagine the Minnesota fans around here how they would react to Sam Darnold being the starting quarterback for a full season.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm wearing the league. Andrew's a huge Vikings fan, and Mike, let me just tell you, I said I don't care who it is. You know you're getting a Darnold jersey if they do. He's like, nah, I'm not. I'm like, you're at least gonna get a DH kid, aren't you? He's like, maybe.
Maybe. Maybe.
All right. How should I build a team in a contract league, Mike? Super chat from Evan Dean. Like redraft or dynasty or a little of both?
It depends on what the kind of contracts are.
I've seen the contract leagues kind of vary enough, yeah.
Do they mimic NFL contracts? Do they have just set terms or set guidelines on there where they don't mimic NFL contracts? I would say if they mimic NFL contracts, I still treat the thing exactly like Dynasty. Because really, Dynasty, the smart way to play is to look at your team within 2 or 3 year windows max, right? You're not looking in 5 years I got to pay this guy. Who gives a shit? Okay. Odds are of him being on my squad in 5 years in any Dynasty league is very slim, unless he's terrible. And then he doesn't cost much in a contract league. Fucking dog shit. He's cheap. But there's a reason he's still on my team. It's because nobody fucking wants him.
I mean, I'll be honest. I I have not played in one.
He said it mirrors the NFL, so
It does.
if it
Okay.
mirrors the NFL, peace.
Have you played in one,
Play
Mike?
it like Dynasty. Nope.
I haven't either. I've talked through quite a bit with people, but I think you say play it like Dynasty?
I said play it like Dynasty. If it
I
mirrors
agree.
the NFL's contracts, yep.
I agree.
I want to hit on the youthful value plays.
I think a little of
obviously
both.
Move them as they're getting towards their peak, right?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Right before Justin Jefferson signing a fucking $50 million a year deal at wide receiver, I'm going like, hey, who really likes Jefferson? He scores a lot of points. It's the best receiver in the league.
Mike's trying to talk people into buying Jefferson from him. That's an amazing this theory. I love the idea of that. No, I'm with you. I think I play a little bit of both, but I'm with you. Once you start getting to paying people like that, Jefferson's going to he's going to clog your entire salary cap up, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if you get guys like all these guys on the rookie contract, like in this year, like imagine if you got Malik, you got Rome, and you got Marv. Got 5 years of these guys on some yikes. Yeah, I'm with you. Play it more like Dynasty. Almost even. I might even lean more like Dynasty in this league.
Here's a step forward. If it mimics the NFL, I play it even more like Dynasty, right? I will not pay for a tight end. I will just find shitters for cheap, right? I will not pay for running backs. I will just find shitters for cheap.
What I'm asking is where's the difference? Same.
The wide receivers, because they're so plentiful, I try to find those values with production, right? I don't want to pay the top guys. I want a lot of those middling guys, like those in-between guys, those wide receiver 2 types, if you want to call them. The only position I'm willing to pay up for security is the elite quarterback, right? Like, I want to be the guy with the money available to be like, yeah, I'll take on fucking Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts if it's a super flex contract.
That'd be interesting, though.
Whatever
Like,
the case may be.
Mike, you look at some of these teams that pay quarterbacks. Now, we'll see what happens now that Brady's done, but you start already having a problem when you have pay one quarterback. How would it work in this if you got 2 of the top paid quarterbacks like in Superflex? Can you even field rosters without having just young rookies?
Jesus, I don't know. If it's a 1 QB, then obviously throw the quarterback shit out the window other than the Russian quarterbacks. Like, you're going to want to pay up for those dudes.
Oh, look at this, Mike. I have 101, 103, 104, 106, and 108 in this year's draft.
That's how you play it, like Dynasty, right?
Talk dirty to me.
You want to pivot off the high-priced dudes for multiple cheaper options where you could possibly hit a home run and get all those draft picks, man. And always be the person with the value on your team.
Money just flowing everywhere.
Better than even saying it like play it like Dynasty. Play it like you would if you were playing a Madden franchise, right? Because I'm pretty sure just about every fucking person out here plays Madden franchise the same way. We don't give a shit about the high-priced older guys. We want to develop the young guys, those superstars.
Isn't that how we got into Dynasty? Madden franchise mode?
Exactly.
Bam.
Exactly.
All right. Let's
play like a Madden franchise, buddy.
Let's get into some questions here. Y'all can keep super chatting, by the way. We'll keep prioritizing those always.
I won't stop answering those.
Okay. Start at the top. Inbox offer, Mike. Give Reed 202 for 109, 209. 12-team start 9 Superflex PPR. No tight end premium. 4-point passing touchdowns. He's got Hurts, Watson, Higgins, Kupp, Laporta, Jalen Warren, Javante. He's already got the 101 through the 103. My goodness. The 105, the 203, and 2 picks in every round of 25 and 26. Okay, so basically, I mean, you're loaded, but give Reed in the 202. Would you rather have Reed in the 202 or the 109 right now, Mike?
Post NFL draft, it's Reed in the 202. I think I'm a little bit more comfortable with. Pre NFL draft, it's the 109 and 209.
I think here, when I think about it, Mike, I think the difference in 202 to 209 is going to get me to take the Reed side here. I like Jaden Reed a ton. You and I both do, but I've not been the fondest at his current price. But that's why everything has a buy and a sell. Like at this price, Mike, I would be willing to make the bet just because I feel like 202. Now it's not 109, but I feel like 202 and like the 112, 111, fairly similar. So I'd be willing to take. I want to stay your side, I think, right now, Mike. I don't think I'm paying up for this 109, given what I hear with your team.
So just pre or post, Jaden Reed or the 109 is the 109 for me. That part doesn't matter. The reason I say
I would agree
if
with
this
that.
is
Correct.
post NFL draft, I'm going to feel a lot more comfortable in my post NFL draft that there's a difference between 202 and 209. In pre NFL drafts, which South Harmon leagues will be kicking those off starting next week, Monday. I can't tell you if there's a fucking difference between the 202 and the 209 at the end of the day.
Well,
Right.
there is.
We
Can't tell you who will be drafting what person and what the hell the difference is going to be as far as variance.
Yep.
I'm answering it like I imagine Ethan I think most people, Mike, draft still. We try to influence. We try to influence people to do the pre, but I think most are done post.
No.
Most are done
people
post.
hate that shit.
Yeah, so I'm
Which
kind
is
of
why
operating
I
from
don't give
the post.
anybody who joins a league that I commish a fucking option. You're gonna like it. You're gonna like it.
Wow.
Right? You're going to have to like it.
Matty Gomes making a statement.
I don't know if he's necessarily wrong either.
It's interesting. I would say it's interesting just because, like, to me, Jaden Reed, I agree with he's overrated, but I will admit, Mike, like, I see the range of outcomes where Jaden Reed ends up being. If Jaden Reed ends up becoming like the wide receiver 1 in Green Bay, I don't think this is going to be true. That's the reason I don't necessarily agree with the singular most, but overall, I'm betting against cost at the moment. It's pretty high.
Singular most, man.
There's a lot of people I could make a case for, Mike. I still think it's Jalen Waddle.
I mean, he's down at 16. Like, he's getting a lot closer to where he should be.
But wide receiver 16, from what it once was to what it is now, is like not much. By the way, in startups, he's going at the wide receiver 11. Startups, he's going the same as pick 5, Mike. 105 or Jalen Waddle.
I would venture to say that Nico Collins is more overrated than Jalen Waddle currently. And
They're
where's Nico
basically
going?
the same. So would
There
you
go.
Jalen Waddle 310? I'm sorry, Nico 310, Jalen Waddle 401 startups. I mean,
Jalen Waddle all day. I
You'll
feel
think-
much more comfortable with Jalen Waddle's floor than I do Nico's.
Interesting. I do probably agree, and I also think though that Nico, until Tyreek moves on or we see an injury there, I also think Nico probably has a higher ceiling than Jalen Waddle does too. I think I don't feel good about taking either one of those anywhere near where they're at. I want Brandon Ayuk ahead of him, Drake London ahead of him, Michael Pittman ahead of him, all going behind those guys. So, picking a singular wide receiver, it's kind of there's multiple I can make cases for. So, anyway.
Yep.
Jaden Reed is overvalued. I don't know why we went so far on that one, but I like it.
We did. I mean, he's Keep Trade Cuts got him up to wide receiver 28.
Yeah, in
the
startups he's
rookies
going
included.
higher, I believe. Wide receiver 25.
Bull. No, thank you. I like him, but not that much.
How high are you on Kyron Williams? I'm not high on him at all past 2024, and I've sold my shares to tier up in a couple leagues to Breece Hall.
There you go.
I'd be curious to see to know what the price
Yeah,
what the plus is, but do I feel better? Do I feel more secure with Kyron or Breece Hall? I mean, I would definitely answer Breece Hall here.
So I updated my running back ranks, and if you look at them, people will think I hate Kyron.
Well, they don't have.
okay.
They don't think.
Okay.
Come on, you've been drinking. Just lean into it.
I'm not a big fan.
Don't tiptoe around this. Just give us
Not a big fan.
the real. Okay, that's fine. I just want to hear it.
He produced last year, and he got the workload, but he's also like nothing says that he's tied to that system. Nothing says McVay's tied to him. We've made that claim all the time about, if you produce for Sean McVay, he loves you and he feeds you and yada, yada, yada. And, he fucking hated Cam Akers. Royce Freeman comes off the street, fucking just produces while Kyron's out, puts up really good numbers. Like Royce Freeman was highly usable while Kyron's out. And when Kyron came back, he's like, fuck you, Royce. Like, we're going to go back to Roddy Rivers. Like, what? Why? Ever. So I think Sean McVay just does whatever the fuck he wants, whenever he wants. And there's nothing there for draft capital to say, like, yes. There's any pressure from management to say, you have to play this guy. We spent a pick on him. I don't know what the fuck they do in the draft either, right? We're in that time of year where there's a lot of guys coming up in the NFL draft who we think are untouchable, and all of a sudden, like, they get a little competition, and then the buzz starts, and oh my God, this rookie's looking good, and hey, he could be in line for some high value touches, and then fuck, by the time we're to week 8, that rookie's taking over the backfield and like the dude. So I think he's fine. If he secures the job, like, we get a little more clarity. They don't do shit in the draft. They don't bring anybody else in, and we get to, June, July, and Kyron's the only dude on the roster again. Up the ranks he goes. But I just rank him with a possibility of a fallout involved. So if I'm Fizzle in this situation, like, that's a dude I kind of want to get off of. Especially.
Wow, you do rank him.
Yeah.
Stop tiptoeing around it, man. Dude's out here talking about like he has him maybe down in tier 3 or just barely out. You got him behind Pacheco, DeAndre Swift, and Jacobs. Say it. Come on.
Say it with your chest.
Thank you.
Is that what you're trying to get out?
Yes, Mike. I'm needing you to everything you just said amplified because that's what you're saying. Now, let me ask you this.
Podcast
Can I ask you this?
Campus Canton, where I said fucking sell Kyron Williams. So
I'm just asking
on record.
Let me ask this then to put a bow on what you're talking about. Kyron Williams. You're saying you're worried about replacements coming in the draft and just the situation until we know what the team's going to be looking like. Yep. What if they have the current same running back room? They don't really address it at all.
He go up the ranks.
How now? Yeah, but how? Where does he go? That's my question.
You could make a case for top 10 pretty easily, I would say.
Oh, definitely. Would you put him? Does he go in tier 3 or tier 2?
Oh, he's tier 3. He would not make tier 2. Sorry,
okay.
Not sorry.
Okay.
He ain't good enough to be tier 2.
Okay.
I
think I have him right now at 7 in the top of tier 3, and I feel really good about that ranking. I think that what I saw from him last year, I think that as long as Stafford is there and McVay is trying to patchwork this thing together, like he's trying to duct tape this together, I love every year when you latch on to a Rams running back. It's my favorite tradition. I do too.
It's like Christmas.
I do too. And you know what? My favorite part is that, I learn from my mistakes. And I do know that Cam Akers did never have the job. Unfortunately, I didn't know until it was too late. And I burned I probably burned 15 shares maybe, minimum. But Kyron, Mike, I have zero worries that he ends up being the workhorse next year again. Now, the workhorse doesn't mean that I don't think he's likely to get 81% of snaps. My biggest problem is that even if he's the number 1 there, it's like highly unlikely that they give him it's highly unlikely, I think, that they give him the most touches in the NFL again. And it's also highly unlikely that his frame holds up to that year in and year out if that's really what they give him. So that's why I can't put him in tier 2 is even if all things check the boxes, I have my concerns, and I don't think his value retention's there. I do think, though, Mike, if they give him the work, that dude, he was so good last year when he had the work that as a running back, the way I value them, he's got to be in my top 10 as long as, to your point, I can understand what you're saying as far as the draft goes. I think they're patchworking this thing together because it's gross. They just lose Donald. They need to fill so many holes on this team. It's just there's a lot to do. Now, if they draft a running back in day 2, I won't be shocked. But I think it's Kyron's job still until the wheels completely fall off this thing.
I'll say that part with my chest, though. He don't belong in tier 2.
Yeah.
So at least we're in agreement there.
Yeah. I'm less apprehensive about the draft, I guess, is the only difference we really probably have here.
There you go.
Let's see. Oh, we got questions piling up now. Let's go. Okay.
Bing bang.
Wait a
Kyron
minute.
got it popping. Actually, Fizz dropped the questions about Kyron, so Fizz got it popping.
Oh, I was going to say, I was like, I didn't miss Fizzle's question. No, it's on the screen here. Can you imagine Cards draft QB and then Kyler to Minnesota with those weapons? I don't think I've seen that on the Mike Monday Night Cast. Interesting.
Because I would give that a 0.01% chance.
I think there's a better chance that we get 6 quarterbacks, Mike.
I think there's a better chance Spencer Rattler's a first-round pick.
I think there's a better chance Cam Akers is the running back 1 overall.
I think there's a better chance J.K. Dobbins goes to the Dallas Cowboys and becomes the next Emmitt Smith.
Well, there is.
But I like where your head's at. I mean, we were talking about Madden earlier, so.
Castle Black, no questions. Just want to show some love to the
Thanks,
4D
man.
boys. Appreciate you, Castle Black. That's one of our OGs, man.
Hey, Castle, whenever you get on Ultimate Autographs and you win something good from the Eagles, make sure you flex that thing, baby.
Matthew's right, though. I got the Cam Akers one back there ready to burn. Well, Mike, you know what I should have done? I should have got it earlier because it was 23, and then I could have pretended. I could have just kept it, you know? I got the 3 Cam Akers, and it's just trash now. It's washed. It's over.
You got the 3. Wasn't that OBJ's number?
It was. Well, so you remember there was a drama about that. OBJ came in. He could pick where he went after the Browns cut him. Cam Akers, they were holding 3 for him. And OBJ's like, if you don't give me 3, I'm not coming. And they gave Cam Akers had to go back to 23. And that was the year he was in the Super. Remember they went to the Super Bowl.
Right.
Cam Akers, that was crazy. They were forcing him all those touches, and he fumbled the ball, almost cost him the freaking. That was insane. After they rushed him back.
Not so, man.
Yeah, it really
Not
is.
so.
It's wild looking back at it. Okay. What? Melo's here. 1.
What's up, Mello? This is a first.
Fuck,
Not
I'll join in,
surprised.
Castle. Look at Melo.
It's all those late night Helldivers games me and Mello have. We're really bonding, spreading democracy amongst the galaxy.
Too soon on Darrell Henderson. Listen. Damn. It's fair. Oh, here we go. 106 or Olave.
106. I didn't think twice about that one. Ooh. Told me all I need to know right there.
Let's take a look at ADP. I was actually looking at this earlier. I just wanted to see. So with
Yeah.
picks, Mike, pick 4 and Olave are going one spot different. Pick 5 is at the end of the 3rd. Chris Olave 306. Pick 6 is the 409. I think there's no chance in the world that stands. But go to rookies.
0.
Let's take a look at rookies without landing spots. So Jaden Daniels is the 4 going 1 pick. So it's pretty similar right now. People don't believe in Drake May. He's way down at 310, QB 17. And Rome's at 409. I think, Mike, I would take – I think I put this out there. But I would take any of these 3 receivers ahead of Olave.
Yeah, no question.
Yep.
That's easy.
So that's why, like, 106 to me, Mike, when I have that on record – and then if somehow they all went, like I'm looking at 106, I'm getting if it's not if those 3 go, right? And you got Marv going, and then you get well, they're already there. So you got those 3, you got Caleb, 4. If Daniels goes, you get your pick of Drake May or JJ McCarthy with the draft capital. So
I got to say, with this class thing, I'm pretty sure collectively, okay, let's just say collectively, amongst Dynasty folks, collectively for the top 3 wide receivers, I probably rank them the highest in Dynasty out of everybody.
what do you mean collectively as far as what?
If you were to put them all 3 together and give an average, you know. Like
Oh.
maybe somebody's got Marv up at 2 or something like that, you know what I mean? But collectively, if you were to take all 3 of them as an aggregate score, I can almost guarantee you I'm probably the highest.
As far as relative to the field of receivers.
All 3 of them are in the top 7 overall for wide receivers for me.
I'm trying to think. Let's see. I'll do it on air. Let's see.
Let's find out, Adam.
Yeah, let's stop the cap. I don't have.
Stop the cap.
I've been waiting. I don't have the blended rankings yet. But let's do it on air. Yeah, I haven't released them. Holding out for something special. Not really, but okay.
No.
Justin Jefferson, C.D. Lamb definitely ahead. Jamar Chase definitely ahead. Amon-Ra ahead. I'm with you. I'm actually with you. So then I'll have the next 3 there. I'll put them all ahead of Puka.
Man, we are just lockstep, right? Like that doesn't that feel like its own tier, right? You got the 3 guys at the top, bing bang boom.
Because
Jefferson, Lamb, Chase, whatever rank you want to put them in, I don't give a fuck. Amon-Ra, just because of that little draft capital, still hangs around, right? He's just not as sexy in a trade as he should be. And in that same tier, right below him is just put all the rookie receivers.
So I
Top
put
3 guys.
after the combine, I put Rome in the same tier as the other receivers. And
Let's go.
Ultimately when faced, I was really close between the 104 and Puka, and I eventually was like, you know what? I'm not doing that. And that ultimately, to me, when I say that, that was Neighbors, or that's Rome, or it's not going to be Marv. But point is, I'm there because with Puka, he's got to go through the Amon-Ra path, right? He's got to go prove you wrong, prove everybody wrong for 3 years pretty much. Now, at 3 years, if he looks like Amon-Ra, he'll be there. But you know what happens if Malik Neighbors has three monster weeks? I mean, he's right behind them. Yeah. He's right there. People are ready to go crazy. So
had a hell of a fucking pro day today too, boy.
Yeah, I'm in, buddy. I'm in.
Listen, I don't give a fuck who you got as wide receiver 1 or 3 in this class. All 3 of them are good.
Now be ready for the pivots as the season starts coming around. Be ready for the shakeup as far as the values go. But
I have never had a problem with people pushing Malik Neighbors or, whatever you want to do, right? Mm-hmm. Like, wherever it goes at him. My only problem this draft cycle has been the people who talk about Marv and Neighbors like they're in a fucking tier different than Roman Dunze. And that's cap.
Well, I initially was that way because of the community sentiment, but then I'm like, all right, Combine is absolutely lethal.
Killed
it. At that point, I was already
Matt
in.
Harmon, too.
I was already
Harmon.
I was already in.
Reception perception chart came out.
When the gold standard gave me that on the reception perception, Mike, let's just say I bought up to the highest tier. What do they call it? The sicko tier, $99, and I'm in on Rome too now.
Let's go.
Let's go. Sandy's channel. From
Sandy's channel.
Mike, what's CA5? Do we know how much that is? I'm just playing. Appreciate you, Sandy. What we always like to make fun of our Canadian friends.
Is it more or less? I don't know.
I think it's.
I don't know the way this country's going. It might be more.
I think by the time they convert it to us, it's definitely less. YouTube, that is. What rookie pick would you straight up trade for Gibbs Brees in a 10-team start 11? Superflex, I'm assuming, Sandy's channel.
Yeah, we have to find that one out. That'll change it a little bit, but
change it quite a bit. If it's 1 QB versus Superflex, it'd be massively different for me. Now, let's start Superflex, Mike. 10-team.
Superflex, probably the 105 or 6 in a 10-team.
10-team. I'm gonna put it at 105 because, like, I hate to say this, but 10-team, especially Mike, Drake May, and JJ, like they just don't.
Yeah.
They don't do it for me, and that's where basically it changes from the 7 to the 5 for me because of those two guys.
Yep, I can get behind that one. It is super flex, so yeah.
Yeah, 105.
105 or 6. You can slide 1 quarterback in there, maybe 2 if you really wanted to, like between Caleb and Jaden Daniels. But I would take all 3 receivers first. I would rather have them in Dynasty. It's still Dynasty, right? We didn't change that part. 3 receivers.
That's fair. No, I'm with you there. Yeah, in 10-team, I'll take the receivers over these guys. But Gibbs and Brees, though, Mike, I will say in 10-team, it does seem like because the quarterback comes down, you get closer to the 1 quarterback field where, like, I'm a little more willing to lean into grabbing a stud running back in this format than even in a 12-team. But, yeah, somewhere between the 104 and the 105. If you could do it for the 106, I'd be elated. All right, let's see. 12-team. What do we got here? We got a whole bunch of questions. I got them starred, but they're piling up. 12-team Superflex half PPR lineup. What's the price to acquire Gibbs? Look at the difference here, Mike. 12-team Superflex. He's asking about 108 and 109. 108 plus 109. Oh. Are you asking, is it 108 or 109, or are you asking about both? Both, no.
Jesus, I'll fucking sell all my Gibbs for the 108 and 109 in a Superflex league. You can have them. I love them, but no.
What's the price to acquire Gibbs now?
You could make the case at 106, 107-ish.
That's exactly where I had it.
As
when Tony and I made that trade, I was basically like 107 I'd consider, 106 I wouldn't.
And granted, that's more along the sentiment of maybe people aren't fully bought in on JJ or Drake May, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like similar to the one that we just talked about before. But I think for me, process play is going to be one of those quarterbacks for sure. So I would say like the conversation could start there. I'd feel more comfortable like if I was purchasing Gibbs in this format.
Spacenfeld, are you here? Are you asking about 108 or the 109? I'll say I would send the 108 Mike in a Superflex league.
That's understandable.
The 108 and the 109 though. I mean, I really hope that's or not an and, but it doesn't really matter. That's where we're at.
What if we got 5 quarterbacks in the top 15 picks at the NFL draft?
I'd make it on the clock depending on what happened.
Okay, that comes on. I love it.
All right, I'd hold until I knew what was happening my way at 108. How about that?
Did I really just see that in the chat, dude? What the fuck was that? Is that nonsense? Yeah, that was nonsense.
What are you talking about? Which one?
Somebody said Marvin Harrison numbers last 2 seasons aren't elite in college.
Is this a fantasy god?
1,300 yards, 14 touchdowns, 1,200 yards, 15 touchdowns, top 5 PFF receiving grade, similar numbers to Roma Dunze and Malik Neighbors. I don't understand where the fuck this came from. It's because he plays at Ohio State?
I will say, no, I don't know how many people watch Ohio State on the regular basis, Mike. I can tell you the quarterback play this year versus last year was also wildly different, too, something to keep in mind.
Kyle McCord we've watched a lot of film over the last couple weeks in the last 2 months at this point, it feels like, in the Discord.
Yeah, it's been I'd say at least 7-8 weeks, yeah, for sure.
Kyle McCord is the second worst quarterback we've watched.
Dude, it was the Michigan game, absolutely just like
he was awful.
I just want you to think about now, with all that said,
it was terrible.
He mirrored his production from the season prior with McCord.
Yeah.
Look at the numbers. 1263 versus 1211 and 14 tugs.
Adam, as a Ohio State
in 12
fan,
games versus 13.
You can also attest that wide receiver room is loaded every single year. Just
correct.
Until Ibuka went back to school, people had him in the first round of this draft as a wide receiver.
And they always end up being like top 5, 6, 7 kids out of high school, so everyone's freaking out about him in Debbie too.
I don't know where that's.
What up, my bro-in-law just says, nah. Love that.
I feel like that felt like a hot take if there ever was a hot take.
Mike, it's that time of year. People are ready to go against the grain.
Maybe it's just fatigue. Maybe it's Marv fatigue.
It is. It's just exactly
Marv fatigue.
Jen says, I traded Olave and got Pittman and the 301 in return. Give me Pittman over Olave all day.
Fuck.
This is literally Mike. Mike's the tear down king. He's got the
Bravo, Jen.
He's got the crown. Mike, I did a video recently talking about the tear down approach, and these guys, it's literally what I was talking about. These guys are in the same tier for me, right? If you wanted to make a 1-for-1 trade for me personally, I would just stay. The 301, even though it's not the craziest of values, I'm taking the Pittman side and that free 301 every time.
Two separate tiers for me. So
2 separate tiers?
Yeah. She got the tier up and got the plus.
You put Pittman out. Wow. So you changed your tier 3 quite a bit then.
I had to differentiate between a giant jumble of mess the best I could.
I like the way
can I
tell you that's a dangerous game playing that because the variance on those players in that tier is rough to predict. I'm curious now. I'm gonna pull up a question so you can keep this going. But now I'm really curious.
I like the way it turned out.
If Washington drafts McCarthy at 2, what are the odds Snyder is still shadow owner?
Shadow.
J-Cap. Look at J-Cap, man.
I feel bad for J-Cap because he's a Washington fan forever. Me and J-Cap have been playing in leagues for, it feels like forever together, and I've had to suffer through his pain. I've also laughed at his expense very often. Very often.
Lord, what did you do to these rankings? Oh my goodness.
They're amazing.
They are colorful.
What's wrong with them?
I can't distinguish all these different tiers.
They're nice and separated.
That they are colorful, they are separated, they are yours. They are yours. Someone inbox flashed me my Gibbs for their 106 and a 25 first. Didn't accept fast enough, and he pulled it back in like 30 seconds, still crying I didn't smash accept.
Oh, that sucks, don't it?
I mean, I will say, though, if that happens, let me just tell you this. If it happens in 30 seconds, they probably fat-fingered it. And it's just going to end up probably a disaster in league chat anyway. So,
what you could do, though, is put that same trade together and just toss in like a little juice piece, you know? Like a little nugget.
301? 301?
Look at the third, you know? Like, hey, I saw that, you know?
I like playing psychology on that just to mess around with some certain people. Not everyone, but certain people I'll be like, yeah, good thing you pulled it off. I was going to accept it anyway. Just kind of play the alpha.
Yeah.
Just get their head thinking. See if they'll send something back, but nah. Okay. What was this other question here? Okay, yeah. Would you add the 112 to Deshaun to get Dak? Yes.
112 to Deshaun to get Dak? Yeah, I think you could do that, and you'd get the benefit of being a little bit more secure at your quarterback.
I'd definitely do that, man.
Though I don't understand what the fuck's going on. Like Dallas now, the talk around. I'm seeing Ike like lose his shit on Twitter, which you know, I feel bad for him too. That's a friend. Fortunately, he's a Cowboys fan, but like, are they really not gonna bring Dak Prescott back next year? Like, what the fuck? Okay. Trey Lance season, baby. Let's go. I want you to put the word on the street. We back up.
Listen, Fizzle, if you're here, actually, don't cover your ears. I want you to hear this. It's Dallas, man. Mike, unless they're winning a Super Bowl, which to this point, that has been so long ago, Mike, we were children. We were young. We were young kids. Years old. We were young children.
I hadn't even turned 10 years old. I was 9 years old.
My dad forced me, and I was believing that I was a Steelers fan at the time. So I remember being upset.
Cowboys, Steelers?
Yeah.
Cordell Stewart was on that team, man.
Slash.
Think about how long ago that fucking thing was.
Slash, baby. That was years ago. Point is, if they're not winning a Super Bowl, there's always turmoil out there. There's always problems. They're always going to make stuff be an issue.
Drunk
you know?
Brain is my favorite. Drunk Brain. Yancey Thigpen. Shout out to Steelers wide receiver Yancey Thigpen.
Yancey
what
Thigpen.
A fucking
what a
name
pull.
too, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Drunk Brain just pulled that one out of my ass.
Slash was awesome to watch, but I'd imagine for a lot of people just a absolute like headstorm nightmare.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I had a good one pulled up. Oh, here, Jen says, Mike, after acquiring Pittman, she wants you to. Why are you so high on Pittman?
I love Michael Pittman to death. Look at the targets last year. Dude who got 160 targets. And I know first thing people always point to is, well, it was with Gardner Minshew. Go back and look at how many targets he got with A-Rich in the games A-Rich was playing early. It's the same thing. This guy just fucking shits out double-digit target games. Like, that's what he does, right? It has that, was it 2018 Michael Thomas kind of feel?
Yeah.
Like, with almost no competition, okay? Alec Pierce is nothing but a gadget deep threat guy. Like, it's kind of fun when he scores, and we get to call him Antoine. And, yeah, look at the white guy who's fast. And they never throw him the football, though. Like, he only does one thing. Josh Downs was, like, a nice, like, surprise story. You know, the UNC and all the Sam Howell and Drake May love I've had over the years. Like, to see that receiver kind of succeed, but then he wasn't very consistent and disappeared at times. And it's like, yeah, he really is just kind of a slot receiver, you know, in an offense that's not super high volume in passing. So seeing Michael Pittman just absolutely shit all over and dominate. And he's young. Like, we treat this guy like he's Mike Evans, you know. He's not. He's 26. He's right in line with Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson and Drake London. But the difference is Michael Pittman's actually fucking produced. Like, he actually goes out and puts fantasy points on the board. Right? This is a guy who's a, you know, top-end wide receiver 2, close to back-end wide receiver 1 last year. I'm incredibly excited for Michael Pittman, and he just wins. He just wins, whether it's, you know, the quick slant, screens. Like, for a guy that's 6'5", for them to throw him so many fucking screens because he's good after the catch is like, wow, this is kind of weird, man. Usually these dudes just, like, they run the Mike Evans route tree, right? Like, or they're possession receivers. I don't really think of possession receivers as guys I got to scheme up to get fucking bubble screens. So I'm a big fan of Michael Pittman. I just called him Mike Evans.
There you go.
Same thing. Mike Evans, Michael Thomas, whatever you want to call him, Michael Pittman's good.
Yeah, I think what people are hoping Drake London turns into is a lot of what Michael Pittman is, honestly, already. Yeah, he feels a little bit undervalued. I will say, Mike, to the Josh Downs thing, I was just, looking at some numbers. Josh Downs quietly was one of the best as far as targets of all rookie receivers last year. And the main thing is going to be obviously what makes or breaks him in fantasy, if he's worth anything or not, is going to be, to your point, passing volume and how good it is with A-Rich. Mike,
and whether he can get down the field on some of these targets.
I do think with the rushing attack, if you talked, Mike, we haven't seen A-Rich and Taylor, and if they put a lot of focus there, it could be some of these short passes to Downs. He might be able to make one guy miss and get some nice plays going. But he had 98 targets last year. I didn't really expect that, to be honest with you.
Bolts are kind of.
I think we lost his video. I heard him. This is amazing. Look at this face that got frozen.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Are we back?
Okay, he's back. All right. He's kind of
back.
back. He's back, kind of.
I
love this, by the way.
Delayed back.
Castle Black, when Mike drinks out of that glass with ice, sounds like a musical instrument through the microphone.
So, route win rate for Michael Pittman.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, man. You cannot cover. You think he's just like a slant boy type thing, too? But, he's top, air yards on the year last year. Jesus.
Oh no. Fantasy
1,200 air yards?
Who is Fantasy God? I love the
oh no.
the avatar, but why are you doing this to me?
Oh no.
What happened here?
This is like the double doubt of all double doubts. Marv is junk. Jerry
I will
Jeudy's
say
God.
I will say for a Bengals avatar, for a guy that wants some good things to happen to the Browns, I'd like seeing that. I will say this. If this, Mike, let's just say in theory this happens. Look, this is in theory, okay? I'm just playing up to the crowd here. I feel like people will really hate it because they want to hate Judy and they want to hate Watson more than anything. To the point he's making, the hate has gone. I don't know that the hate's gone too far. I just think that they both are extremely hated at this point. It feels like.
So
to me.
does that? I gotta ask. Does that mean Amari Cooper's dead then? In this scenario, or does he also eat too? Because if
wait till
he
Friday.
Eats
I'll wait till Friday. I'll tell you about Amari Cooper.
If he eats and Jerry Judy's eating, Deshaun Watson, top 5 quarterback on the year.
Mike, can I tell?
Sorry,
Mike, can I tell you something? Go look at. I'm gonna wait. Y'all wait till Friday. Tune in Friday. All right, I'll tell you about Amari Cooper's season and. Mike, he basically produced like Pittman and like Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah.
But they had 5 quarterbacks start last year.
Yeah.
3 games. He had 3 starting games of DTR. Might have had, Mike, I'm talking wide receiver 96, 87. Still finished wide receiver 18 in points per game.
Not too bad for
Had
him.
starts with PJ Walker. Yikes.
And absolutely winning week.
And one of 2 players to score over 50 in a game.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Y'all let me have Amari. Y'all keep letting me have Amari in the 9th. I'll be happy with it. Let's see.
I don't know if I buy into the Judy thing, but be interested.
He's
He's not like dog shit. He's better than Elijah Moore. He's 10 times better than Cedric Tillman, who people tried to make a thing, even though he's terrible. And that was my guy, coming into the draft process. But when he slipped,
the Browns track
said,
record.
Nope, we're good.
This Stefanski Browns track record, as far as chasing the receivers that are bad, it doesn't make me feel great about doing it again for Judy.
Hey, he's got him for cheap, okay? Other than the fact that he just gave him a contract.
Absolutely. The only person we really have to thank is Fizzle for gifting us Amari Cooper.
There you go. Thanks,
Dak
Fizz.
for love for Dak. Which player is higher for you, and what would you add to make an equal value?
Ooh, Jordan Love will be higher. Sorry.
Jordan Love, because of age, will be higher.
Yes.
I think that right now, it's off the top, I believe that Dak's 303 and Love's mid-second.
I got
Love is
rookies already
205
in my
and Dak
ranks.
is 301. What's that?
I got rookies already in my ranks, and as of right now, Jordan Love's the top 10 quarterback for me.
I think I can get behind that. I mean, if I just
Dak is 16, and it sounds like a slight to Dak, but you also have to remember that I'm putting high rookies in there.
Yeah, you're very high on all the rookies in the class. That's probably why, right?
Take the four rookie. Take the.
Do you
four
have May and
out.
JJ ahead of Dak?
Yes, I do.
What?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Damn, I wouldn't have expected that. I would not have expected that. I get it.
Would you pay the 105 for Dak?
Would I pay the 105 for Dak?
Yes.
If I was a contender, I think I would.
Would you pay the 104 for Dak?
I have 104 in Dak in one league, and this guy's trying to get me to tell him which one's the cheaper option. And I said, they're gonna, yeah, you're paying the same price, buddy. Like that, you're shopping at the same store, and you're leaving with a different, piece of clothing. But no, I mean it's very similar for me, Mike. I'd say this though, the one thing about Dak that I in general in the position. Okay, so yeah, there's you're gonna have Dak stuff in the news all the time, but Mike, we get quarterbacks playing. Rodgers is coming off an Achilles surgery at 40.
Mm-hmm.
Dak's 30 years old.
Mm-hmm.
You know why he's pushed down? It's because of age. It's crazy to me. If I'm playing for a 3 to 5, even if I'm playing for a 5-year window, Mike, I'm not really that worried about Dak. 3-year window especially, I'm not worried about Dak. That's the reason I think that he gets pushed down too far. But to the point you're making, like at 104, I know there's a very good chance I might be able to mess around and have a Jaden Daniels share. Now we're having a tough combo. We're in a tough combo.
That's fair. Dak has a little bit more uncertainty, just to me, with the situation around him, right? You hear this 25 stuff, so even if he's still in Dallas, right, you could bake that in. There's one guy where I don't know if his ass is still going to be in Dallas and really helped put Dak Prescott back on the map last year. And that's, big old juggly, fat-ass Mike McCarthy. If they don't win a fucking playoff game under Mike McCarthy, like, I don't care how senile Jerry Jones is getting. Like, his ass is going to be looking for a new job real fucking quick, okay?
Now, Mike, you know what the one interesting part about Jerry is? I forget who said this. Someone said this, someone in much bigger spotlight than any South Harmon shit, right? But great point how it's like, okay, there was talks about Belichick going there. And they're like, there's no chance in the world. Jerry's so egocentric. See, if Jerry brings in Bill Belichick and they win, you know who's getting credit? Bill Belichick. The only way it's ever going to work is if Jerry gets the credit. So the only way that's ever going to work is if Jerry hires the Mike McCarthys, the guys that aren't going to get the credit. And you know what those yield results of? Right. Not winning the playoff games. So it's a tough pill. To this here though, it's not. I don't think it's up for debate. Love is over Dak for me.
I don't know what his offensive scheme is going to look like as soon as 2025. Whether that's a trade, whether that's Mike McCarthy out on the street and a new coach, new scheme, whatever. I have no idea what it's going to look like. So that's why I put Jordan Love over. Like, Jordan Love is pretty goddamn exciting from what he did his first year as a starter with weapons that have all only been in the year 2 years or less.
We're not having a debate about Love, by the way, versus Dak.
All right, so what would I add? I'd be comfortable adding a second to go from Dak to Jordan Love.
For sure. I'd do that.
I don't know if I would accept a second to go down from Jordan Love to Dak.
I wouldn't.
Juggly, jiggly, jaggly.
I wouldn't. Nah, I would not. Yeah, you got. It's not. I think Fizzle had the question. It's one of those where if I could do it cheap enough, I would definitely just go to Love. But I feel like right now there is enough there where you'd have to pay me something unfair to make me move. What would be what's fair? I guess, Mike, is an early second fair, like a 202, 203, 204, like something like that. Is that fair?
Dak in the 202 for my Jordan Love.
Yeah. I'm not even saying
Yeah,
I'm not even
fair.
saying what's going to guarantee that you move. I'm saying what's like fair in
Yeah,
market.
that's fair.
I think that's about fair.
That's
okay.
fair market. Early second.
Yeah, because I don't think anything that's late second or like even mid second is going to get people to move the needle enough to move a quarterback that high up the board. You know what I mean?
And I tell you, just about any Superflex league that's 12 team or above, you give me Dak in a first, even if it's in 25. Like, enjoy your Jordan Love, buddy.
That's why I bring in that early second, because it's like, all right, it doesn't have the first on it, but I might be able to be convinced by this class. It's
Yep.
I think it's in the mix. I feel like a lot of people right now, I'm liking Sandy's channel, being on our channel. I feel like a lot of people right now are too down on Addison. He's going to get a QB in the draft, being seen too many people trying to get off of him recently. Well, Andrew, if you're listening, people are saying it's going to happen.
Sam Darnold. No.
I really hope. Mike, why do people keep wanting to make Sam Darnold a thing?
Wow. Man, me and old Keep Trade Cutter in lockstep on Jordan Addison. Same ranking. That's probably a first, other than, locked in 101s.
I got to see what this tier is talking about.
It's crazy.
Good night.
I'm fucking dead even, man.
Tier 6? They probably have them in tier 6 on Keep Trade Cut too. Did you copy and paste these? Damn, I'm disappointed.
Why would I do that? That's stupid. They have Roma Dunze at 14 because they're idiots.
No, I'm talking about these tiers. Let's see. Where do they have? I want to see where they have.
No, I make my own tiers.
The tiers
How
on Keep
dare
Trade
you.
Cut. Tiers on Keep Trade Cut cheat because it's across the whole thing. They don't give you a receiver tier. Damn it. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Fuck off.
Wait a minute. Actually, no. We'll just do the math here. They got Jefferson in tier 1. Tier 2. Okay, it's it's absolutely ridiculous. But they have Jordan Addison Keep Trade Cut has Rashee Rice, Zay Flowers, Tank Dell, T. Higgins, DJ Moore, and Devontae Smith all in a tier.
Man, they hate
How do you feel
Smitty.
about that?
A little too low on Smitty.
Yeah, they do. Wow, why is he 18? That I agree with you. That feels low.
A little too low. Like putting all those guys in the same tier feels weird to me. I wouldn't do that.
But you have everything the same except for I think T and Smitty, right?
So Addison and DK are in different tiers. DK above Addison.
Oh, you have DK.
Overall rank is fine though. Like where I have Zay Flowers, Jordan Addison, Rashee Rice, Tank Dell, DJ Moore, JSN, George Pickens, Debo Samuel. That's the tier.
I will say the one that I'm most intrigued by from you is that you have. Let me just make sure I'm looking at this right. One, you got Tank Dell as wide receiver 2 from the 23 class.
Yeah. It's good.
All right. I just wouldn't have guessed that from you. I heard you. I've heard enough. Mike talking Tank Dell. So I'm actually trying to give you the floor. I'm asking a question in AMA.
I don't know who the fucking best receiver in Houston is. Is it Tank Dell? Like, I go look at some of the splits with Tank Dell in the lineup for Nico Collins, and I go, fuck, Tank Dell's the best receiver.
Sure.
And then I look at a couple Nico Collins games without Tank Dell, and I go, well, fuck, he did some shit Tank Dell could never do. So I don't know. I don't know who the guy is, right? Which is also why I rank Nico Collins, and I'm a little bit more hesitant on it. But between those guys, like Tank Dell ranking him at 22 versus Nico Collins at 20, I actually feel a little better about the Tank Dell ranking than I do the Nico Collins ranking, even though he's above him. Like
Mike, if you're gonna,
more comfortable.
can I tell you, you were doing the Kyron Williams song and dance there. I need to see to really have clarity on anything with the specific 2 guys of those. I have them in the same tier. I have them in a giant jumbled tier for the record.
Okay.
But I could see it if they draft a guy in round 2. Now what are we talking about? Now who's the guy? Now who's the guy?
Chaos.
I don't think people want to talk about that. I really actually don't either. But
Fucking
I
chaos.
could see it happen. I could see it happening. You got a young quarterback that looks that good, and you have him on a rookie deal. Why wouldn't you? 1 of 2. 12-team Superflex, start 11, 1.5 tight end premium. Mystic Flame. Gotta love it. Okay. Give Burrow, Garrett Wilson, Kittle. This is already holy shit. Love Kyler in the 203.
You can stop right there.
Well, Burrow over either one of the QBs, but then I'm taking again, either one of those quarterbacks over Garrett Wilson. And Kittle for the 203. I'm elated to get that 203.
Joe Burrow barely above Kyler. Barely above Kyler. You can call that shit even if you want. Jordan Love way above Garrett Wilson, and I won so much on that one. I don't give a fuck about the 203 or George Kittle, but thank you for the 203. I would have gave you George Kittle for free.
I mean, but Mike, I just think in a vacuum, if I'm moving Kittle, 203 is a fine return. Like,
thank you. Yes,
that's my
very
point.
much.
Yeah. So.
Yep. Finished her off. Love
musical instrument. So now he's currently got Burrow, Dimes, Levis. Well, I think in your position, needing the other quarterback here, that's just massive.
Now I love Kyler. And
the one situation though was obviously now, Mike, like it's Amari Cooks. Wow. Cooks becomes wide receiver 2.
That part sucks. Hopefully he's got some draft picks. So, he said he's got the 103 and the 105. Boom, 2 wide receivers in the top 7 of my Dynasty ranks. Congratulations to you. You win. It's the opposite of the Willy Wonka thing.
The other thing, though, is like...
The OG Willy Wonka, not the newer one.
Willy Wonka. Like, if I'm in this situation, though, like, I think I'm perfectly fine getting the 2 quarterbacks here that feel secure. And you got stuff to figure out. So, yeah, I'm good with this.
You can trade that 103 and 105 for a really good proven wide receiver if that's the direction you want to go.
Yeah, I mean,
really good. Really good. Like really, really good.
I think
Amon-Ra or the 103.
Ooh.
Fucking right. You just went oof. So let that be known. Like if that's what you wanted to do, you can add an Amon-Ra St. Brown and a Tyreek Hill very easily. Those types of receivers with a 103 and a 105. 2 of them. Now you got 2 quarterbacks. You got stud wide receivers at the top. Who gives a shit about your tight end?
The only thing is, like, the reason I say the quarterbacks are like, I want the Love side here, I think, pretty much regardless. But when I look at this entire team, the 103 and the 105, even if you 4D the hell out of this, like, this team might still need time, buddy. So let me lock down these QBs, you know?
We are on a fucking journey here with Fantasy God. All right.
I'm
like one moment it's hot takey and I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And now it's like
we're gonna get it. We're trying to get him to New York, by the way. I think Summer we're talking about getting his ass over there. Great call on Wonka. Hold supreme. Love this.
Oh man.
What up?
And Bindles, yes, this is a Sam Laporta jersey. Sammy Ballgame. Mike is I'll tell you this: if you're here and if you're not familiar with some of the backtrack story, Mike is the first person on planet Earth, other than Sam Laporta's dad or mom or Sam Laporta,
that does any type of, I don't know, talking about sports that isn't family related, that brought up Sam Laporta. All right, and multiple people were not really ready to give him even a film watch way back in the day.
I ate shit for 2 years. Just to be vindicated.
Eat shit, Mike. Eat shit, Derek. R.A. over 103. Oh, Ra over 103. I'm good with that too. It's pretty close though, man.
Yeah. He's good. He's good.
I'm gonna rouse that dude. Might be able to trade Dimes for a mid. What? I mean, then yes, please do it if you can.
I'll trade Dimes for a first anywhere.
Trenton, if I missed a question, I apologize. I'm just catching the last part here. Mike, I'm worried that Dimes is going to die. Like, I'm going to end up having to, that became a penny that you just kind of flicked to the street, you know.
I mean, he's going to look real good in my UFL league, United Football League.
We love you too, buddy. We do. Promise that.
That is a sick fucking avatar, though. We've had some dope-ass avatars on the show. That's got to be top 10, though.
We're bringing it back, Fantasy God. We are, I promise.
I mean,
this is still one of my favorite, though, right here. Mike McCarthy's. All right, let me get. There was a question in here I keep forgetting to pull up.
Johnny Detroit nailed it, man. Gene Wilder is Willy Wonka.
No one
Nobody else.
That's fair.
You lose. Good day to you.
Dak has efficiency with volume. He's Kirk Cousins with 5 years left. I mean, obviously, to your point, like I'd rather see him with McCarthy in Dallas. I refuse to believe, and we're talking about what percentage is 5 and 6 quarterbacks in this draft. I refuse to believe Dak is Fields, and we're gonna just see him go nowhere. You know what I mean? Now, to your point, the efficiency, the situation around him could be a lot different, but I feel like his price, Mike, currently, especially because everyone gets worried about the age, it feels like he's already not playing for the Cowboys, and he's already doesn't have McCarthy.
He's a high-end quarterback 2, back-end quarterback 1. Like, that's where he is. It so happens that there's some youthful guys out there that are a little bit more exciting from dynasty value that I rank above him. That's why he falls at 16.
That's why I'm saying, to me, though, like, I get it. And I think most people have him somewhere between quarterback 13 and 16. So no one even not that many people in Dynasty are ranking him as a quarterback 1. My only point is, right now, how many people can you say give a realistic chance to be the quarterback 1 next year?
Oh, like if I had to think who could be QB1 out of this list?
QB1 on the season for a full season next year.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
We're past 10. We need names.
12.
We need names. Hold on, go
13,
back. We need names. There we go.
14.
D-Bro's here just in time. Hello, boys. 14. You got 14 quarterbacks you think could finish quarterback 1 on the season.
Yeah.
All right, come on. I know if I want the names, everybody wants the names. D-Bro?
Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Kyler Murray, Anthony Richardson, C.J. Stroud, Jordan Love, Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, Dak Prescott, Tua, and Deshaun Watson.
Tua.
I ain't never leaving.
I need to leave. I need to go.
All right, take the fucking Tua part out. Who else do you disagree with on that list? Stop the cap. Stop being dramatic.
I would put, if you're being like realistic, all ceilings hit. You didn't actually say T-Law, right? I think that was one you did not say, correct? Or maybe I missed it. Did you say it?
I don't think I did.
Okay. I give obviously maybe Mahomes, Allen, Hurts, Lamar. I'd probably put Burrow there. Stroud is where like he could. I'm starting to feel less secure. I think he's more like he could be. I think he's probably got a very good chance to be top 5, but QB1 feels tough for him. Could happen though. I'm with you there. A-Rich agreed. Did you put Herbert in that? I don't feel like I think Herbert's going to be QB1 with this current situation. No, I did not put Herbert. Okay. Kyler.
Put Justin in there.
Kyler's probably a scenario.
Probably. Jesus. The disrespect.
No, I mean he's got to rush for he's got to have a lot of those rushing touchdowns again. I think he's very good. Quarterback 1's just hard to do. I'd put probably 10 there though. I'd put Mahomes, Allen, Hurts is 3, Stroud 4, Lamar 5, Burrow 6, A-Rich 7, Kyler 8. I'll put Love 9 and I put Dak at 10, and then I probably stop the list.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's about right. And I mean, again, that's like, I think there's a lot of quarterbacks that could be quarterback 5. I think there's a difference in like 1 overall. And Dak, what he showed at the back end of last season was ridiculous, man. You look at Warp from whatever that was when they came out of the bye, it was absolutely lethal. And we've seen Dak. He's not running like he used to, but we saw Dak be quarterback 1 when he was running more. So. My point is Dak feels very underrated in Dynasty, but I'm not really trying to argue, all the different scenarios here. But I will put my foot down on Tua, and I typically defend Tua, but look at this. D-Bro said to Sean. Damn it. Why, Mike, why'd you have to do this? Because I want Deshaun to do well. Now I feel this is just all bad on me.
Everybody just forgets how good he was. Like
I know.
he can never get back there ever again.
It does feel like that. Fantasy God's out here calling it. He says Jerry Jeudy will be the reason why too.
Fantasy God did call that. And then we just casually forget, Deshaun even last year and not a good year and missing most of the year still put up 4 top 10 weeks.
By the way, now that's where I say I agree. Like I think quarterbacks that could be quarterback 5, the list gets wider. Quarterback 1 gets extremely wide. Dak Warrior's contract. By the way, I don't think Debro was here early or saw the beginning, but you were correct. He announced immediately on here that he started drinking early.
Mm-hmm.
Fair. All right, hold on. I've been arguing with DT5, and Scott thinks selling Barkley in Dynasty for the 110 is a good process move. Looking for your thoughts.
Probably is.
I would say it's probably a good process move. And I will admit that like Saquon to me is one of the few running backs I'll go against process for.
You go, Mike, will you sell me Saquon Barkley for the 110? And I tell you to get the fuck out of my DMs.
Mike, can I tell you, I got a good one for you here, all right?
But it is probably a good process play. I'm just a big Saquon guy.
So there's got a patron who's, I'm not going to name and shame on him, man. We're trying to have good karma here, right?
Team Rock.
So it not gonna name or shame. So asking me, I'm not gonna say the league because we're gonna start narrowing down suspects. I have 4 first in the 201 in the league. Okay. Yep. He's like, how much for both of your first? I'm trying to figure out like what league am we at? I got 4 first in 201.
Yeah.
He eventually wants me to make an offer, so I send him 109, 201, and another second for Nico and Barkley. And he's like, I can't do that. And like, okay, all good. I'm not moving 104 to 106. Those are my other first. He says, I might be interested in doing the 109 and 201 for Barkley. I said, I'm sure you would be.
End of conversation.
Yeah. And that's where we ended it. Mike, I would if a team that I felt really good about, and in this specific league, it's start 3 running backs, I'm sending 109 for Barkley there. But I know it's not the right process play to get to this point here, right? Like
it's probably bad process. Like
exactly.
I can acknowledge that. Right?
But there's only a handful of running backs. There's not even. There's never been another running back built like Saquon, and he's going to Philly. So
you change the Saquon Barkley name to H.N., Kenneth Walker, Travis Etienne, James Cook, Rashad White, Isaiah Pacheco, Kyron Williams, any of those guys. I go, fuck yeah, take it. Move on.
I expect to be like Swift last year, good sometimes, not good. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Yeah, you take him. But Saquon, because he plays for my Eagles, I go, nah, I'm good.
Ooh, Debro. Look at Debro coming in hot and heavy. 107, 108.
You could get that, probably. You could probably get that.
I think you might be able to get 108. 107 feels pretty tough now. 107 is starting to feel crazy.
This shit would put me in a fucking bind as the Saquon, like, truther and the guy. If D-Row comes in there and he's like, I'll give you the 107 right now. Be like, oh, fuck. Okay.
107, like, 107 is probably tough. Like we said 109. 108 and 109 are similar. I think the situation is worth betting on. But again, in the process, it's not the right play to send in this class that liquidity for Barkley. Personally, well,
no matter how much I like him, it still doesn't make running backs any better for dynasty teams.
This is where Debro, I agree with you. Like that 107 pick is a shot at Bowers. Even the 108 is probably a quarterback and wide receivers.
Dude, because of JJ McCarthy, now the tier is 108. Like, that's where that tier is. He
says, you got to take that and run. I'm like, listen, Trip Crown, by the way, you're not necessarily wrong. We're acknowledging that we have our Saquon Barkley issues, okay?
Bias.
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley bias.
I'm with you.
The Tua disrespect is crazy. What are you people doing? How dare you?
Mike, I got news for you. People don't like Tua, but nobody thinks quarterback 1 overall. I'll fight with you for Tua, but I got to back off at that point. All right, I got to leave you by yourself there.
I'm not saying it's happening. I'm just saying there's a chance.
All right, Jim Carrey.
Just saying there's a chance.
I'll tell you one thing, man. I really wish I had whatever feeling Mike has right now.
It's a good one.
and the 107 and 108 probably won't give you the production for 2 years at Barkley. Well, the thing is, if Barkley stays healthy and all that, there's tremendous upside. But
well, we can let you know because we got this thing called rookie warp.
well,
It's cool too.
We don't know what you'll land at 107 though.
Some turtle made for us.
Mike, you know with the quarterbacks what you could get at 107 though.
Who's that?
Your wide receiver. Do you have 1 or 2? Rome.
Adunze? 2.
Your wide receiver 2.
You can. Probably pretty often. Which I like.
So you're saying there's a chance. All right. Deshaun just got a good massage. Oh, wait, wow.
Fucking Jake.
J-Cat, man. J-Cat, this is a...
No.
Wait,
Bad.
sorry, 111... Hold on, what's sorry 1116?
I don't know. It's a robot.
No, it's yardage. Okay.
Who's yardage?
Deshaun, wait, hold on.
Who's on first?
He said hasn't had over 1,000 yards in 4 years, and then said sorry, he had 1,116.
Oh, okay.
All right. What do you think,
Historically, rookie warp for pick 7
Okay.
is a 1.17. I picked like the most vanilla league I could find.
That's not bad though. It's not elite, but it's not bad.
Running back 6, 7. Kind of where Saquon's at right now. 1.65.
And that's if
Half
you
a
get
game off.
and that's if you get the 7th best locked in person in the draft.
Correct.
And there's a chance for up, but there's also a chance for down.
Yep. Where's Barkley? What was he? RB9 last year? So what's RB9?
Trent, why you got to do this?
1.54.
Why you got to do this?
Good. Rome's will end up with dimes. It'd be the de facto alpha. Put up a monster rookie year. Be like OBJ-esque. But bigger, faster, stronger. It's like the $1 Million Man. You can rebuild him.
I don't like any of this right now.
Come
Mike's
on.
calling the shot. This just feels.
Danny Dimes QB1 season. Overall,
Rome has the strongest hands I've ever seen, man. Absurd.
He's fucking amazing. I love him.
I did too.
But again, just because I love Roma Dunze doesn't mean I hate him.
Have y'all seen Keon's hands?
They're pretty fucking strong too, boy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Listen,
I'm not arguing Keon versus Rome
No,
for the
no,
record.
no.
I'm talking about just hands.
Vastly different.
Yes.
But the highlight of my life, Adam, last Thursday night we're doing film session, right? And you know Xbox fucking hates Keon with a passion.
Yeah, because
always
listen, if you are a guy that is into film as much as he is, you hate Keon, right?
He fucking hates Keon. He always comments how dog shit Keon. He's terrible or whatever. We're sitting there watching Keon Coleman film.
Xbox, by the way, I saw someone let you out of timeout just for hearing this. I'm putting your ass back in timeout as soon as we get off this AMA.
We're sitting there watching Keon Coleman film, and I'm like, I gotta put up with his shit all night, as like the relative Keon truther or hopeful.
Speaking of the league, Andrew hates Keon too. The whole time watching the combine in New York, I was like, dude, just stop it with this, Come on.
We get like probably to the second game, and you start to hear him like start to soften his stance on Keon. He's like, oh, okay. And I kind of felt bad too, because the reason he's softening his stance is because Jordan Travis is fucking dog shit and just makes bad throw after bad throw after bad throw.
Well, yeah.
Keon doesn't do it a lot, and that's probably the problem with Keon. But when he finally runs like a really good route and he gets like great separation and he's wide the fuck open and it's a layup touchdown, Jordan Travis is like locked on the fact that he's going to throw the ball 7 yards over Johnny Wilson's head deep down the sideline on the other side of the field, never even looks Keon's way. And I'm like, motherfucker.
Yeah. Sometimes you can't even see those good hands on tape, That thing's sailed.
Listen, I'm not saying he's good or bad, but at least Xbox was like, you know what? Around about, like the top 10 rankings for rookie wide receivers, it feels about right for Keon. Like, that's probably where he should be. He's got some skills. I was like, hey, that's a win for me, baby.
It's like
that's a win.
Xbox right now, I'm just seething. I'm kind of like, it's like in Step Brother. I swear, right now I'm so pissed off at Mom. As soon as she's of age, I'm putting her in a home. I'm putting his ass in timeout as soon as we get off this show. Matt Waldman is making a couple appearances here. Matt Waldman loves Keon, has him rated higher than any guy last year. I think that speaks more to last year than anything. But I shouldn't say that. Keon's, that's really high.
I don't know about that one.
Matt Waldman hates Kyler Murray. Well,
I don't know. That's probably not a good sign either. Just saying.
What's the relevance?
Said auto DQ'd.
What's the relevance?
The guy said it's auto DQ'd. You might get auto DQ'd. It's kind of like if you predict Cooper Kupp's retiring.
This was going to be my point. I haven't got a chance to do it. This is my point. If y'all like Jaden Reed, he outproduced Jaden Reed in Michigan State, and people don't really talk about that.
Ooh. Imagine that.
Yeah, I tried to set up the BDGE guys because now Nick is middling on. He can see it with Keon. He's definitely
middling
worried.
Is fine.
I agree. Andrew hated him, so I'm like, you know what? It feels like I'm getting beat 2-on-1 here. So I'm like, I know you guys like Jaden Reed, right? And they never really bit as hard as they never really gave me the chance to talk about it. But all right, let's get one last. We'll get one last good question. If y'all have a good question, let's do it. I'm getting ready to. I got to take off early in the morning. 5-hour road trip to Kentucky. Let's get this. Get this show on the road. Mike's got work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Friday, by the way, we're going to be doing 4D live at 11 a.m. Eastern. So
yes,
if you like this live,
from Kentucky. For
true.
Adam.
From Kentucky and Iowa. Let's get crazy. It's not really much different than Ohio and Iowa, but it feels a little more. Kentucky kind of feels a little more inbred, you know.
Well, it feels a little more classy is what I was going to go with, but inbred works too.
I mean, depends on the part. Like, you go to Lexington, you go to Louisville, sure, classy. You go to, I don't know if you've seen a lot of Kentucky, buddy, but.
Lexington and Louisville are far different. Like, that's the yin and the yang.
But I'm saying you can go to, there's places, bigger cities that are, you can be like, all right, classy a little bit. Mike, you go to you feel like the hills have eyes in a lot of places in Kentucky. I don't know if you've been to those parts, but.
It's probably because Ohio's the meth capital of the world, so you guys are all laser focused.
You know what's right on the border of Ohio? Kentucky. We run that shit over there all the time, buddy. I have no idea about that, but isn't Reed a little bit overrated? I feel like we had this question before, and somebody said he was the most overrated player in Dynasty.
That was a statement that was made tonight, not by you or I, but it was made.
Malik over Harrison. I have him in the same tier. I don't think it's necessary. I feel like the community sentiment's still too high on Harrison. But honestly, any one of the Rome, Malik, or Harrison, Mike, finishes as a top 5 rookie as a wide receiver, like you're talking about these guys being in the same breath as tier 1. Watch.
Now, if Ricky Pearsall finishes as the best rookie wide receiver, that'll be shocking.
Puka. By the way, D-Bro, if you're still here, I think he left, by the way. But D-Bro, if you are still here.
The Tua thing did him in.
Well, amongst other things.
Amongst other things.
What does D-Bro have a... Listen, you can't call it Puka 2.0. I mean, come on. That's just absurd to think that's happening. No. But can we get I want a D-Bro... We might have to save this for our Fatal 4-Way. We got to plan that out. But I want to hear D-Bro's... I want to hear a D-Bro sleeper, you know?
If you guys haven't listened to the Fantasy Pro Show with him and Thor, check it out. The last 2 ones have been on wide receivers, and they've been fucking phenomenal.
Absolutely. Absolutely top-notch, man.
Phenomenal.
I want D-Bro's deep dive sleepers, though. Like, I feel like he's got to have somebody in there that I don't know as much of his love on. I know there has to be
Javon Baker really feels like it for me, just with all the listening. He loves him some
He
Javon
does.
Baker.
Do you think that's his main sleeper? It could be. I feel like he's giving me a couple of different ones.
Ricky Pearsall's fast growing on him. Like, I don't want to speak for him, but I hear the love come through. He does love Roman, and him and I will disagree on this one.
Mike, but I'm just saying that he seems to love Roman too. I think the only thing is Roman doesn't feel like, it depends on who you ask. He's very polarizing, but I don't feel like Roman's as big of a sleeper. But maybe I'm wrong on that too.
Could be. I rank Roman as my wide receiver 20 in Dynasty, or rookie ranks, so very opposite. I think he's garbage. That's just me. I don't know. Feels like, man, trying to think. He had some loves. Javon Baker has really stood out, though. Johnny Wilson. He loves some Johnny Wilson. Dr. B's going to be glad to hear that one.
Isn't this what people said last year?
Yeah, it worked for a game, didn't it? Like the first game back, didn't it work?
I mean, I will say this too. How healthy is Cooper Kupp when he's healthy right now?
Like 80% Cooper Kupp of past? Like
Which,
Cooper Kupp of yesteryear?
Which therein lies the Henson lies the problem, Mike, you know?
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I think Cooper Kupp can still fucking turn it on for a few weeks. But how are we getting 17 games out of this this age Cooper Kupp? I mean, I would bet against it personally, but it could happen.
No thanks, but maybe. No thanks, but maybe.
I'd love to see Bowers do well, but him being so high in non-tight end premium blows my mind. I mean, him being so high in any league blows my mind.
Well, we do got that one. We do got that one where it's like all flexes. You don't have to start a tight end, and it's like 3 points per tight end catch. You know, the warp on the tight ends there is pretty fucking good.
I'm going to leave y'all. I wanted to get a really good question. I don't really feel like I have one, so I might just have to leave you guys with this. Friday, somewhere noon, 3, somewhere in the afternoon, evening, I don't know. The whole BDG office, by the way, has the flu, so I'm not sure if this editing video will be on time Friday. But 2 tight ends that are being, like where Bowers is going, Mike, okay? I got a tight end that is actually fucking legitimately a stud that people are sleeping on. So I got the version, that's actually proven it and good very recently. And then I got, if you want to go all the way down, I'm talking deep dives, you know, snorkeling. I got you a tight end there too. But you guys want to go pay for Brock Bowers, y'all. I salute you. Anyway.
Oh, Adam, I had to throw this in here too.
Okay.
Right?
Holler at me.
Anybody ever heard of BedJet?
Anybody what?
Jet.
BedJet? I just wanted to make sure that you said it right or that I heard it right.
Jet.
I also kind of feel like I want to hear you say that drunk and see if you mess it up. But talk about it. Go ahead. What do you got?
I got a BedJet. Right? My wife bought one. It's the most amazing thing ever, especially for couples.
Lower.
It's even better.
Lower.
It's even better. It's even better if you're single. But I'm a hot sleeper, as you can imagine, Adam. I'm a fat guy. I sweat.
Really?
BedJet.
Dude, I would not have guessed that.
Nice fan. Blows up into a cloud sheet. And I even got the dual climate one. Like we have 2 of them. So I can have one side cool and the other side hot. You know, for my wife who likes
I'm not going to lie. Geist
herself.
This is not okay. He got both.
See? He's smart.
Go ahead.
But I like to have
I didn't want to
one
interrupt BedJet. That was kind of crazy.
I like to have my side cool, and she likes to have her side hot. Reminder of hell, you know, where she came from.
Reminder of hell. This dude has been drinking. We need to cut this. I'm putting intro music on.
But you gotta go check it out, Adam.
Go ahead.
Like your wife would be in love with that too, man.
So you get different temperature settings. Is that what you're trying to explain? Okay.
Yep.
That's what it sounds like.
You blow cold air or hot air through the cloud sheet and like keep the air circulating.
I just pulled it up here.
So you never get sticky, you never get humid. You got a nice little breeze over you all the time while you sleep.
You have it right now?
Oh, dude. I've had it for probably a year at this point. But it makes my sleep so much fucking better. So much better.
Interesting. Okay.
You can even set up these
BedJet, if you're out
schedules.
if you're out there listening, listen, we have a guy
one.
that can give you as good of a review as probably anyone can.
I would give you a fantastic review. And if you'd like to send me a brand new one,
all you have to do,
amazing.
And if we'd like that. Mike would like that. I don't have one. I'm out here sweating, and Mike's like, I want the new one. You see this? This is the type of shit I'm
greedy.
Yeah, it's okay.
Greedy.
But I'll just take a promo code. A discounted one will be fine. I don't need a full free one.
That too. BedJet.
But better yet, let us get a promo code to give all the people, Mike. So you swear by this?
I absolutely swear by it.
How much was this?
When I was $800 or $900 for the dual climate.
That's what I'm
think
looking at
the
right now.
single's
It's
much cheaper.
$899. Okay.
It's
So the dual climate gives you two. You can control both sides totally different. You can go as polar opposite as you want.
Basically, you get one big sheet that's kind of split down the middle, like a seam or like a seal, you know?
Okay.
So the way the cloud sheet works, like the funnel comes in at the end of the sheet, right? And then it's basically got a channel that runs all the way up and down. You don't notice it, like you can't feel it. But when the air blows through it, now it has a pathway. So
I'm going to be honest. This entire show has just been... I feel like, Mike, there's no chance for me to keep my train of thought on any one thing. Like, I look at shit in the comments, and I'm like, how am I supposed to take this serious? Is this right?
Johnny asked me, like, who gets sticky while sleeping? Everyone.
Well, I saw that, and I was going to put that up, and then I saw this, and I'm like, hold on. This is even stickier than that. Which, by the way, it's not. I'm seeing... Right now, I see tight end 4. What keep trade cut are you looking at?
One from 2022.
Chip Crown. I believed in you. I believed in you. I should have pulled this comment up because it was better anyway.
Yeah, it was. Chip Crown failed us. He did. I get sticky while sleeping. God damn it, Johnny. I thought we were bonding over the Willy Wonka thing.
All right.
That's how it goes.
I think,
all right, we got to get out of here.
I was going to say, this
is...
What do you mean if? You know how many people left?
All of them.
Well, no, we have 160 still here somehow. But
Jesus
we were higher than that. We appreciate y'all. Even the ones that left. Even the ones... See, Mike, when you fought everyone on Brock Purdy, everyone eventually started to realize like that was I'm not going to say a bit, but they knew what the game was, right?
Yeah.
It feels like what just happened with the Tua thing, though. I could tell. It wasn't even me. I could tell. I could feel it. You talk about like bedjet, the hot and the cold. I could feel the heat coming off this computer. The comments
It's
were
getting hot.
It's getting really hot. Bedjet, shout us out, shithead.
Is it faux pas on Friday when we do the live stream of 4D if I'm drinking then? I mean, it's Good Friday, so do I have to be good or can I?
Do you want it to be a good Friday? Go ahead and have a drink.
I want to be like that Willa Ford song, I want to be bad with you, baby. Ow, ow. Bad with you, baby.
We love y'all. See you back here. Same time, same place next week.